Hi, my name is Kalifa Ford. I'm from Bono, Arkansas. I am a grad transfer from Valdosta State University. I'm mastering in accounting. Didn't pick up a ball for me to actually like basketball. It was going to my older brother's basketball game for the first time. It was just the atmosphere, like everybody yelling and how excited people were getting and the intense competition and everything. It was just the atmosphere and the feeling of it that really brought me in. It was like, whoa, like this might be fun. I didn't know anything about college, so then I was like, oh, I can see myself going to college and doing this. By the time I get to my 12th grade year, I committed to Oklahoma Baptist University. Freshman year, I actually played a lot for a freshman. However, had a season-ending injury. I had tore my meniscus and partially tore my ACL on my left knee. So I had to have surgery around Christmas break of that year and was out the rest of that year. So I stayed there for about 3 years. That third year was very much a comeback year for me. Was able to do very well, and then I decided to enter the portal. And that's when Coach D got in contact with me. So it was funny because like the first email was, sorry, made it to the Elite Eight. I'm sorry, missed you in the portal. At this point, I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know anything about you. Like that's a big deal. Like you're making it to the Elite Eight. Like what? And so I was really like, I was over the moon because I'm like, that's high basketball, for a team, to notice me at that level. Coach D definitely, she has a way of making you feel like one of one instead of one of many. And so that was what kind of stood out for me. What I'm looking for is a coach that treats you like a person, players who, are family. I had a great teammates that I was leaving, and it's like I wanted to continue to have even better teammates and whatnot. And so, but it was really just more so like coaching staff, making sure it was personal and not so much as a business, And so that's what I felt like I had with them. Decided to go ahead and commit to Valdosta. Get to Valdosta, of course, I'm pregnant, and so get there, and I kind of hit it. There's no kind of to it, I did. So I hit it for 5 months. I didn't take a pregnancy test, because I was like, if I take one, I'm gonna show. So it's like, if I don't know, then nobody else is gonna know. And so that was my mindset from the jump. However, there was bodily changes I was going through that was like, you are pregnant. I was in a very dark place, very dark place. Nobody knows anything. I'm not telling anybody anything. I kept this all to myself for 5 months. Living in Valdosta by myself, off campus by myself, not around teammates. I went through 8 weeks of grueling conditioning. And it was just one day where I just could not move, couldn't step up on a curb without having to use my hands to lift my legs. I got to a point where I hated basketball. Getting beat up every day, running every day. And I can't be mad at anybody. It's my own fault, And so, but it's like I felt bad for my teammates, they're not understanding. I got completely numb to everything. The yelling, I didn't care. I just go on about my day and whatnot. I wasn't a bubbly person. My personality now is not what it was then. I didn't talk to anybody. I couldn't talk to anybody. And so I lived with a lot of guilt during that time. And so when I was finally able to say something, it was like a weight lifting off my shoulder. And even my parents were like, why didn't you feel like you can come to me? We would have helped you out a whole lot sooner. You shouldn't have been carrying that burden and that pain for that long, harboring all these feelings. And I don't know how to process anything because I can't talk to anybody just because I won't. And so it was a very, very hard year. I finally decided to let Coach D and them know. There was no judgment, no ill will, no anything. It was like, oh, okay, here's what we're gonna do. It was problem solving from the jump, I didn't feel like I was thrown to the side. She still made me feel involved. She still allowed me to do what I needed to do. She was like, just take this year to yourself, get yourself together, go get a job if you need to save up, whatever you need to do, just do it. And so that was really reassuring to know that I think in that moment, that's when I knew that I was in a better place, that You know, she's a great person and a coach, and like the trust and whatnot, the communication piece, everything. At this point, I'm 10 hours away from my parents. So it's like, you know, knowing that I'm taken care of was what was very important to me. My parents came up around the time Eliana was born. Mind you, Coach D had sat in the room with me until my parents came. Coach Mal picks me up at my apartment. She takes me to the hospital, sits with me until Coach D got there. Coach D gets there around 3 o'clock. And I got induced in around like 5 o'clock that night. She sat with me from 5 p.m. that night until 6 in the morning when my parents got there. I had called my parents immediately. Like, my dad got off work early. Mind you, I had to make a 10-hour drive to get up there. And so my mom gets off work. They've already had a bag packed and everything. And so they make their way up immediately. 6 o'clock in the morning, they get there. Coach D is still there. And I was in labor for the rest of that day until 8 p.m. I'm exhausted. And all of a sudden, the woman goes, "Your teammates are here. We're going to bring them right on up once we clean you up." And I'm like, what? And so it was just really nice to have them all there. They all stayed there. You know, they're holding Eliana. And it's funny because I have a picture, and one of the girls is like fixing my hair up so it's not in my way. It was so cute. That whole day was just full of love. Like, everybody that was in my corner was there, and it was just so nice to know that I had a support system from the jump, and to know that Eliana was in good hands no matter what. Had that year, I actually started back working out. About 13 weeks later, I was able to fully get back into jogging. It was like, you know, watching like a little calf like walk for the first, that's really what it felt like. Like, it felt like a little kid going across the court trying to run. I could not run. It was so bad. It was so bad. My body hurt a lot more afterwards. I hadn't done like physical activity for, honestly, it was like, what, 6 months or so. And so, but it felt like I was a little baby, you know, doing something for the first time. And it was hard, but it was nice to see that, you know, I still had some type of mobility and some type of ability to do that still. For me, that year was really just about finding myself again and finding my love for basketball again. I didn't have much expectation for myself that year. And it's crazy to think because of all the accomplishments I achieved. It was just, you know, I'm just here to be here, just to enjoy the moment. One thing Coach D always told me is just have grace. Like, you know, you didn't play last year, you know, but you're making strides. And you're doing this and this and this. Nobody expects, you know, anything. It's like, as long as you're working hard, you're great. And I think for me, like, having grace is my biggest thing because, you know, I get frustrated in little things. And my first game back was like, whoa, like, wow, this is, you know, what I wanted, you know, to play basketball again. And so I very much like could remember, like, I didn't have anything in my head going into half these games. It was just a clear mindset. I was just going out there and dominating and just being the bigger dog, like, every night. When she told me that I can make you an All-American, I was like, I believed it. You know, it was kind of crazy, but it was like, okay, like, I'm gonna try it out. It's like something that you wish for, you dream for, and then it's like it comes true, and it still feels like a dream, just a little bit, until you see it everywhere. You know, it's really a dream come true. All my hard work's paid off. Like, I feel like once you do good, good comes to you. And I feel like good was finding me that year. Like, everything that I could have dreamed for was finding me that year. By the end of the year, she gets the interview with UTC, and she called me after she had a meeting with the team, and she was like, I don't know if you know yet, but it was a far-fetched. I didn't know I was gonna actually get it, but I'm actually top 3. You know, I'm going on this interview, don't know if I'm gonna get it, but I wanted everybody to know beforehand. So it was just the thought of her like letting us know, keeping us in the loop. It was respectful. She had that interview that day, got the call the same day, and, you know, of course, 6 o'clock that night they're announcing that she got the job. I went ahead and entered the portal, of course, because I had 1 more year. So it's like, even if I didn't follow her, I could go somewhere else. But I said 100% like, I'm going with her. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. There was no questions. My parents, the day she found out she got the job, were like, go with her. Like, it's an opportunity for you as well to play at another level. Like, you deserve it. And so decided to go ahead and commit to coming here, got out here and my parents immediately were like, we're gonna go ahead and move. Like, we're gonna come follow you. And we're like, okay. I don't have a lot of moments to really just think like you're doing the dang thing. I think Coach D does a great job of like, sit down, breathe, and just really think about what you've done. Just think about everything that you've accomplished. And for me, like my accomplishment would just be getting out of the house at a certain time to get Ellie to daycare. That is my little accomplishment. I have to think in those little moments, the small things that I do, the little victories. I've got a degree. I've graduated my bachelor's degree in accounting, and to even think that I'm even accomplishing my master's is even more crazy. And it's like you don't see a lot of success stories with women getting pregnant and being able to continue just academics if that's all they're doing. And so for me, it's just, if anybody does come across being in a situation, it's just not giving up. There's a lot of hard moments, but I feel like I've had to really tell myself like, you're actually doing better than you thought. And me being able to say that to myself and have like positive affirmations or moments where I can like truly reflect by myself has been very, very helpful in knowing that like I'm still moving forward. I'm here, having to be present in the moment. And so me being able to do that has been very, very helpful because everything's fast-paced now. There's no slow moments. Like I don't have just me, myself to think about. It's me and her. And so I've really had to try to find time for myself to think about what I've done to help her out or what I've done to help myself out, or it's just being like slowing down that moment really. You don't hear too many college students like, oh, I have my life figured out. I have my life figured out afterwards. Like I have a fallback plan. If I have, if I don't do basketball, like I still go work. It's just a matter of like, do I want to play another year of basketball afterwards? I feel like I can. I have a couple more years in me, but it's right now it's like, I don't know. So we're still kind of figuring that part out, whether I want to do it or not. The door's open.